Good morning. I'm Dr. Wilson Pearl, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship of KCS Kasnada College of Arts and Science. Let us take this sum as an example to understand much easier for partial underwriting. The sum says the companies issued 20,000 shares of which 10 each. These shares were underwritten as follows. X has agreed for 10,000 shares and Y has agreed for 6,000 shares. After the company's 20,000 shares, X and Y has given agreement for 16,000 shares, which means the company is taking the responsibility of selling 4,000 shares. The public applies for 16,000 shares, which includes marked application as follows. For X 2,400 shares and Y 600 shares. So let us see how to work out this partial underwriting for this. We'll start with the gross liability of X and Y. X liability is 10,000, Y liability is 6,000, which means the company is again accepting to sell 4,000 shares in their own behalf. After subtracting this marked application for X and Y, we get a liability of 7,600 for X and 5,400 for Y. Now, after subtracting the marked application, we have to subtract the unmarked application. We have to find what is unmarked now. The company received 16,000 shares, out of which marked application is 2,400 and 600. That is 3,000. And the companies agreed to sell on their own behalf. They'll take the 4,000 shares as well from the received application, which means the remainder is now only 9,000 shares. Out of 16,000 shares, I repeat, out of 16,000 shares, marked application of X, marked application of Y, and the company's liability of 4,000. All the three subtracted. The remainder will be called as unmarked, which is 9,000 shares. Now, this unmarked application will be shared between X and Y in the gross liability ratio of 10 and 6, which means X will get a share of 5,625 and Y will get a share of 3,325. When you subtract this, the final answer will be 1,925 for X and 2,025 for Y. That will be called as net liability. Let us take another example from the next slide. Here, again, it is a partial underwriting. It is a Neeraj Limited that has issued 10,000 shares of ₹100 each at a premium of 10%. These shares were underwritten by Joseph and Jalil to the extent of 5,000 shares and 3,000 shares respectively. The company received application for 8,000 shares, which means the marked application for Joseph is 1,200 and Jalil is 300. So let us find what is the gross liability again. The Joseph gross liability is 5,000 and 3,000. Out of 10,000 company issues, the underwriters are given the liability for acceptance for only 8,000 shares, which means the company's liability is to sell 2,000 shares. Now, let us see what is the marked application for them. We'll subtract this from the gross liability. 1,200 and 300 for Joseph and Jalil. The remainder will be 3,800 and 2,700 respectively for Joseph and Jalil. Now, we are supposed to minus unmarked application. Let us find what is unmarked application. Out of 8,000 shares received, that includes 1,200 of marked application of X, here Joseph, and Jalil 300 shares. Now the company's responsibility 2,000 shares is also subtracted from the received application. The remainder after subtracting these three will be 4,500. Now this 4,500 shares will be called as unmarked application. This unmarked application will be shared between the underwriters, Joseph and Jalil, in their gross liability ratio, which is 5:3. That is, which works out to 2,813 for Joseph, 1,687 for Jalil. The remainder will be called as net liability, which is 987 for Joseph and 1,013 for Jalil. So that is the net liability. There ends this sum. So I hope this will give you a clear understanding for the partial underwriting.